Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. Welcome. Uh, we continue with our book, Cleopatra's Riches, uh, by Marcus Adams. That's what we're reading. We're here 8th week doing this. We have 12 more weeks to go. So 3 months to go. So we're going to be looking at chapter 7 today, which is how community affects our growing money. That's what we're on in chapter 7 today. So let me go ahead and bring up the slides and we'll give it a shot. Thanks for making it. All right, the slides are up here. Let's kick it. All right, like I always talk about on Martha's website, she has some extra resource that can help you. If you lay your hands on it, it would just be something that will help you in the journey. It's getting all that you can get from this series, from our book that she has to provide, that can help you in the financial world. So if you can, that'll be good. Let's go on. So we're on to chapter 7. Like I said, the title here is our community affects the way we grow money. Remember, we're talking about the out last week. We're here on today to look at how to grow money, about how to enjoy money. Our community helps us in enjoying money, right? She always to the quote in chapter of Egyptian, and this one talks about he who does not gather wood in summer will not be warm in winter. We're pretty much talking about the need to respect the seasons of our life. That's one of the key messages that Jim Rohn teaches us, even in this same direction, in financial empowerment, in personal development, is the truth that life is made up of seasons, right? And there are things that are supposed to be done in each season. Those things, when done in their season, are easier to do. Once you miss the season, it's difficult to do things that are not done in their season and in their time, right? So it's important for us to understand the season of our life and be brutally honest with ourselves and make the best of the season of our life. There's no use worrying last year's crop, right? Wherever we find ourselves, the important thing is not where we wish we are, where we want to be, per se. It's we are to make the best use of where we are in terms of physical space, in terms of chronological order of our life, spiritually, physically, and otherwise. Respect where you find yourself. Yes, you need to have a vision of where you want to be, where you to, a vision of your future. But that future is not going to be built in the sky, right? It's got to have foundation. The foundation is where you find yourself presently. Be a connection between where you are and where you want to be, right? Where you are and where you want to be must be connected, right? Otherwise, you won't get there, right? It's not all of this translation or transportation thing that we used to see in Star Trek. You just stay somewhere and get appear in another place suddenly. No, life is not like that. Life is a journey. Life is a process. Life is it's a track, right? You are something today, you'll be something tomorrow. What is a function of what is the in between where you are today and that tomorrow. Depending on how you use the in between will determine where you find yourself, right? It's not magic. It's suddenly. It is a track, right? That track tells you a few. So what the proverb is telling us, that we should do things in their season, in their timing, and then will that give us the result that we desire, right? The harvest that we're looking for. Will also teach us. It says that You know, in the time of the harvest, it's a time of maturity. Right? If there's something bountiful to harvest, then that means you need to take it with pride. You know, you don't have to feel like shy or feel that anybody, whatever anybody will say, the reward of your labor. You are getting as it were, the result of of your life, telling you that yes, you have done the right things, and this is the result. You the exam, right? And if you are not getting the right harvest, it's also the result of your life. It's a testament to what you did in the times before, to say that you did not do the right things, right? It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to deny. It's not something to just brush aside. It's something to look at the result and ask myself, what can I do? What could I have done differently to get a different result? Because if I continue doing the same old thing, I will continue getting the same old result. Because insanity is expecting to get a different result by doing the same old thing. All right. So let's go on into the next slide. We just want to discuss our community affects our growing money, right? Pretty much for all of us, learn how to grow money is our upbringing, our origin, our parents, right? Our family. That's what we're supposed to be taught. Our money relates to us. How we're supposed to earn money, how we're supposed to grow money, and how we're supposed to enjoy money. But we know that does not take place most often than not, right? That is why those that are from poor heritage could potentially continue on that track record, unless you have what we call transgeneration agent, people that will break the curse, people that will break the umbilical cord from all that is evil and make a difference to say that these are normal. But whereas those from rich families have the most often than not could get taught how to make money, and they continue that lineage, right? It's all about because if we don't get taught, we won't know what to do as it relates to money, right? Because money is not magical. There's a method to money. There's a formula to money, just as there's a formula to success. If you do those things, you will get the result, right? Money has nothing to do with where you come from, where you were born. It has nothing to do with the economy of where you find yourself. It has everything to do with knowing what to do and doing those things. And when you do those things, money will come to you, irrespective of where you find yourself. Right? There are things that bring money. And if you can know those things and do those things, you will get money. Right? It's not magical. It's not, as it were, spiritual per se. Right? It's just principles. Right? Principles. Full stop. Right? People deceive us and talk about, oh, they have anointing for this, and people pray pray from now to thy kingdom come. If you don't apply the principles, money will not come your way. Money is not magical. It's not the suddenly. There are simple principles that bring about money. And all you need to do is to be able to apply those principles. That's why the Holy Book talks about that wisdom is a principal thing. Wisdom is a principal thing. In all you're getting, get understanding. If you can understand money, money will become your friend, right? So pretty much we said that where we're supposed to learn all of this is from our parents, but our parents probably don't know any better. So they're not able to teach us, right? That's the case with most of us. That was my case also, right? So I always wanted to be rich. I always saw myself rich, but I just didn't know what to do. So I tried several things that I thought was it. Failed several times, all right? Until I learned what the real thing is, right? I came into the working world, and being a supposedly good person, I use that word, I was making money, but I was spending everything that I was making, right? I didn't know what it was to save. I wanted to save, no doubt, but there were people all around me that had needs. So it was like everything that came, everything went, right? Not for myself. There were just people around me that needed things. I was a minister in the church, so I'm open to a lot of people that have needs. They come to me, and I'd come up as someone that could not say no. So I didn't know what savings was. I didn't know what investment was, right? So everything that I made, everything that I spent, right? That is the road to disaster, right? That is the road to disaster. Unfortunately, being a church boy, the church did not help anyway. The money I did not give were in need. The church wanted it. And the church preached messages on giving everything that you have, empty your bank account, right? And they all talked about the suddenly. There's an anointing that will just suddenly give you money when you throw everything away, and those are erroneous messages. That is not true. You won't find that in the Bible, right? Because, and the people that preach them also don't make it, except those are the people that are in charge of the offering, right? But they don't make it from what you would call the marketplace, right? So we need to tell ourselves the truth. We need to tell ourselves what the word of God says, what the principle of life says, so that we will not just be running riot, right? And not getting any results. Pause here. Toba, all right. I was going to ask Toba a question, but then his internet has just switched up. So let's go ahead, So the first place we're supposed to learn is with our parents. But when we don't do that, then we are exposed to the community. The probably first place we see community really is the school system that we have. Unfortunately, most of our schools don't teach, right? Elementary school, secondary school, university. I never got taught, right? I came into the marketplace, and all I came in was the model of I was going to hand money and spend money, and somehow in the midst of all of that, I'll become rich, right? And I did all of that, never became rich. I lost everything that I have at different point in time. Got into all this make quick money schemes, thinking that that's what will accelerate my growth of money. And each time I went into it, money got stuck, right? That is not the way to make money, right? Money goes by nature. Money does not come quickly. Money, first of all, will go slow to go fast. That's just the way nature works. Nature is never in a hurry. The same way, money is not in a hurry to come to you, right? You have to learn to wait for money. You have to learn to romance money, right? It's going to go slow before it goes fast, all right? Talk about just opening. I was just pausing. If there's any question you have for me before I continue. Are you hearing me? Are you able to talk? Toba, can you hear me? Are you able to talk? All right, your audio has any problem? Well, if you can't talk, no problem. You can send me a chat or something, but I'm not hearing you right now. All right, while I wait for that, let me go ahead. So first of all, so we have the school system that doesn't teach us. We have most of our parents that don't teach us. So those people, those as it were, fail us, But what they could have done, is those as it were fails us, right? But what is expected in those places are various things. As I gone in my pilgrimage of life, I've seen different things that we could have done to help ourselves. Right now, today, I see people. That's what we call the Esusu system, right? Ajo or these things. Those are things that people put together to help them in saving money, right? I've never done that, and even when I knew about it, I felt I didn't need it. But just as part of my alumni, and some people needed it, so for their sake, I joined into it to make the number. But it's been a blessing to me because even though I thought I didn't need it, it's forced me to be able to save money, right? I have saving systems already set up, but this was an additional one for me, and it's helped because in doing it, I have to save money, accumulate money, in being able to do the esuso or adjust, system where people come together, put money together, and different people collect at different times, That's one of the things we learn, in being able to save money as it were. So when we look at the three things: earning money, growing money, and enjoying money. Growing money is the place where we will make the money to work for us. In the earning money, we are working for money, right? In growing money, we are making the money to work for us, right? And obviously, enjoying money is getting the benefit, the reason for the money itself, right? So there are different ways by which we cost money to work for us. One of the critical one is the ability to save money, right? Like I say again, people call it different things, right? But the essential thing when you talk about saving money is the whole idea of not spending all that you make, right? You don't spend all that you make, right? What you make, part of it is bread for eating, part of it is seed for sowing, is your ability to use the seed for sowing that grows your money. If you eat everything that you make, you will never become rich. Money will not answer for you, right? But if you want money to answer for you, you have to understand that out of everything that comes into your hand, part of it is bread for eating, part of it is seed for sowing, and you must separate out that seed for sowing, right? And that will answer for you and make you rich, right? So that's a fundamental thing we need to all remind ourselves of. I mean, the poor, everything they have, then maybe save the remaining. The rich, first of all, save the amount that they want to, then cost themselves to live on whatever remains, right? You have to have a plan for your future. Otherwise, your future will be one that you don't like, right? If you don't plan for your future, what life will plan for your future? Most probably will be something that you would like, something that would not bless you, something that would not make life easy for you. If you want life to be easy, if you want life to be pleasurable, if you want life to be enjoyable, then you have to plan for it. You have to make the sacrifice today for what you want tomorrow. If you don't make the sacrifice today, you are going to make the sacrifice tomorrow, right? And it will not be pleasurable. All right. All right. So pretty much, so there are different things in the community that could help us, in growing money. I've talked about the social system, gone by different names, people call it a job, all of that. I've talked generally about the fact that we need to separate out the seed from the bread in everything that we make. And the seed needs to be sown. That's what makes us rich, right? We need to have a plan for our money. Otherwise, other people will have plans for it and will leave us poor, right? What you don't plan for cannot work for you, right? Like we say, if you don't plan to succeed, you are to fail. If you don't have a plan for your money, then you are planning that your money will not work for you, So, there is what we call, I've said, the assistance system, the general of putting seed. There's also what I saw, back in before 2008 bust. People were setting up what we call the investment club. Those are also ways by which people can help one another to grow money. Even though most of them, those investment clubs then were targeted towards the stock market when it was booming. But it need not just be for that. It could be for, investment as a whole, right? Where people share ideas and help one another, to grow, So I am a life development coach. So I get to do this every time, I talk about money June of every year. So June is here approaching this week. So I will be talking about money. That's all I do in the month of June. I know when I first started, some people thought I was a sinner to talk about money, but I guess people have come raise the idea more. and let the hypocrisy, So God helping us, we will be sharing our money the whole of June here, and we'll all learn together and grow together. But those are different ways by which we get to learn from the community on how to grow money, right? And I guess just to embrace the point also is when we come in a place where we're being affected by our community, or when we start growing money, as it were, there are two possible dispositions that it could eat us with, which is what I think Martha tried to talk about. That it's the fact that if you do everything else around money, but you don't work on your mentality, your mindset around it, you could still be plagued by a demon of what we call a poverty mentality. Because being rich is not just having a physical wealth in your bank account, is that you're rich in your mind, you're rich in your thinking, you're rich in your spirit, right? The word prosperity is the flow of everything that is good. It's being in the flow of everything that is good, not just money. It's being in the flow of everything that is good. So when we're talking here about a financial blessing, having money to be your friend, what we're talking about is being in a place where you are prospering in all things, right? Like if you have money and you're sick, that's no riches itself, right? What we look at here is a totality of your being, right? And for you to be rich in the totality of your being, your mindset has to be right. You cannot have a poverty mindset and you have a lot of money. That money will go at the end of the day, right? So that's what we talk about. When a person who knows about money meets someone who doesn't know about money, all the money in the person who doesn't know about money will get exchanged to the person who knows about money. Money comes to those who know about money, right? Not those who are struggle, right? Money has wings. It tends to fly away from those who are coming to it without the requisite knowledge and respect for money, right? So we're talking about the need to be rich in your mindset. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that one will have either an inferiority complex or a superiority complex, right? What you really want to be is what someone coined an interiority complex, being yourself, not comparing yourself to others, either that you have more than them or you have less than them. The place of balance is you just want to be yourself, be a fulfilled person. It's not about how much you have more than someone else, but the fact that you have the resources that you need for the things that you have defined as success for your own life, right? So it's being able to afford the things that define success for you, not whether you are richer than brother A, sister B, or whoever. It's that you are rich enough to the quality of life that you have defined for yourself as success. That is what we're talking about, So you don't want to be plagued by a superiority or a inferiority complex, because those are evil demons. Those are demons on their own, which will always tend to push us to serve money. Remember, we said last week, the right association with money is that money is our servant, right? If money is not our servant, then we don't have a right association with money. When money is not our servant, that is when the love of money is the root of all evil. When money is our servant, the love of money is not the root of all evil. There's nothing wrong in loving money, right? There's only a problem with loving money if that money is your master, right? All right, that's about all I have to share. I'm going to shut it down. Since I can't hear Toba to hear any question, I'm just going to assume everything is okay. Toba, is that a good assumption? I will cover everything well.
It's okay.
It's okay, huh?
It's okay, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Right. I can hear you now. I can hear you loud and clear now.